perverted man. He died of cancer. What did he get in his own life? He was such a perverted man. I mean, imagine he was a wretched soul who died of cancer. How can he guide you on any point whatsoever? Now, whatever he taught, we took him as Bible. More than Bible, people believe in Freud. More than Christ, they believe in him, actually. And if you reduce it to a minimum sentence, you can say he made everyone a sex point. You are nothing beyond it, nothing more than that, nothing else but that. Imagine to reduce your dignity to that level. As a mother, I just give him a grace mark by saying, poor fellow must have dealt with pathological cases and he was caught up and he gave these wrong ideas to people. He dealt only with the psyche, with the left side, which is also starting from there, but ends up there, ends up into your superego. So, sex addiction takes you to superego, means it takes you to your subconscious mind and your collective subconscious. Now, all your problems you are having or sex are because of this. Emotional behavior and all perversions take you to collective subconscious. There was a girl in India which is very abnormal. She came to me and she said that she wants to be with men and she wants to be with girls and she wants to marry a girl. She wants to dress up like a man. I said, really? So I gave her some sahajayoga treatment and I found that there was a man in her. She was reduced to nothing. It was a man who was possessing her. And she was given these ideas through that man. And that's how she was talking. She was a possessed person. All these abnormalities come because you get possessed. There was a girl in Cuba who came to see me from Cuba in America, a short girl, very petite, small, good-looking girl. And she told me, her husband told me, Mother, surprising, my wife can take whiskey bottle neat like that, once she can drink it down. So I said, all right, sit down. I gave her a bandhan, as we call it. And I saw a big, huge, like a globetrotter, really a very huge Negro coming out of her. And I looked at her. I said, do you know any Negro? She said, Mother, do you see him? Do you see him? He is the one who drinks. I do not drink. She said. And when he was distracted from her, he became such a sweet wife. All these abnormal behaviors, when you overdo it, lead us to that collective subconscious where you catch all these horrible people. Also, it can lead you to collective supraconscious if you become very, very egoistical. Then you can become Hitler. What's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong with Hitler? Nothing wrong. He was perfectly correct when he said that he has come to save all the Aryan race and his nose was a specially made one. I mean, God must have been surprised to hear all that. I mean, you have to create some variety, isn't it? But this is what it is. I mean, these absurd things that we do in our life as saying, what's wrong? We jump into those ditches where you cannot return without some load on your head. And those loads work out all the things and you become such abnormal people. Then on the streets you will stand and shout like a madman. And if you provoke them, they are even worse. So better not talk to them and argue with them. Forget them. All those fanatics that we see are nothing but possessed people. Most of them are possessed. I would say so many of presidents and these despotic people, most of them are possessed. I meet them, I shake hands with them, they shake before me, and I know that they are possessed people. How are they there? They should not be there. They are possessed, they possess other people, they make them work out, and all this aggressiveness starts through their possessive powers. So this center is the one which brings you back to normal. And then once the Kundalini rises and touches your fontanelle bone area and opens it out, then from your hand through this center, that collective personality starts manifesting. You become the collective personality. You become. Again I say, it's the actualization. It is not that we are brothers and sisters, let us form United Nations and make good money out of it. It is actualization that you feel another person within yourself. And this is what is most important. This center, I can talk about this, I don't know how many hours, but this center has 16 subplexuses. And it looks after your eyes, nose, ear, nose, throat, everything, neck, even your face and all that is governed by this. A collective person, a collective being has a face which has a coefficient that even the face can emit vibrations. But this is to be seen only through vibrations. You will know who is the collective being. The most important is this part of the head where I told you that when you bow yourself to wrong things, this is the biggest obstruction, is the lower plate of the brain, which is called as murdha in Sanskrit language. It's very important, it gets swollen up and a big barrier is built and you become a person completely cut off from the all-pervading power. Means all the protections, all the guidance, all the nurturing things, everything starts disappearing from your life. Now we go ahead with that center to the center here, which is very important and which I must tell you, though it's time to finish this lecture, is the center of Agya, which is placed in the center of pituitary and pineal body, which controls our ego and superego. Between the optic chiasma, a very subtle center exists. Some people call it a third eye. But the third eye they see is not the one I'm talking about. The third eye means the eye which sees inside, not outside. This center is very important and is adorned by the deity of Mahavishnu according to Indian name, and English name is Lord Jesus Christ. This is a very important center. Now seek your Lord. Where do you seek? Where does he exist? He is to be awakened and he resides there. Because most of you are coming from that background, I want to talk about it. Though Mahavira and Buddha, both of them also reside within us. Mahavira resides here and Buddha resides here. But Christ resides here in the center, inside the brain. Now this is a very important thing which all the Christian institutions have missed about Christ. That Christ is to be born within us, that he is to be awakened within us. That is only done through Kundalini awakening. And once he is awakened at that point, ego and superego both are sucked by him as a result of his awakening. And this is a very big thing. That's why I said, I am the door. But very nice, they crucified him. But that crucifixion was also a drama, because ego and superego has pressed these points so hard that to pass through that, you needed somebody to be just divine. And he was Omkara himself, the divine personality, who never died and passed through that. Krishna has said, who is at this point, has said that Nainam chidanti shastrani nainam dahati pavaka. He said, this divine power, this Omkara, never can be killed by anyone. It cannot be destroyed by anyone. And this itself took the birth of Jesus Christ to create that passage for us. And that is the thing he proved, that it cannot be killed. But they are all one and related to each other. This you will discover in sahajayoga itself. Because once the rapport is established, you have to ask questions. What is the relationship between Jesus and Krishna? And you can discover eternal vibrations. They are all related to each other, very closely. Christ has said, those who are not against me are with me. Nobody has tried to find out who are those. It is said in the Bible that I'll appear before you like tongues of flames. Nobody tried to find out what is that. Or tree of life. Yes, this is the tree of life. So he is to be awakened within you. That's the main point that he said, that somebody will come and awaken it so that you will know my Father forever. Now, which one of the institutions which are running in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ are doing that job? What they are doing is having a fete or a carnival, collecting money, building churches, this, that. You have to build every human being as a church by awakening Christ in them. That was what was meant by baptism. But who did baptism in the real sense is the Kundalini awakening, where it comes on the fontanelle bone area, which is called as Brahmarandra, and breaks through that. Who has done that? None. I went to a church called Unity Church. They have united all the churches, I believe, and also united all the ghosts of the world. All kinds of fake gurus are there. All kinds. They have no discrimination of any kind. I was so amazed, Christ. He was not so diplomatic, I should say, because the way he lashed at these people, and then he said, if they are hot, we can manage them. Means if they are hot, means they are cut up, we manage them. If they are cold, we like them. But if they are halfway, I spit them out of my mouth. These are his words. Because these half-baked people, compromising with the devil and talking of God, how are they going to deliver the goods? Why not awaken your Christ within yourself and see for yourself? You'll be amazed when you raise the Kundalini and Kundalini comes up to this point and it cannot go further. Among all the Christians, this is a problem. You have to ask them to say Lord's Prayer and it works. That's a mantra. At the time when this center is catty, because Krishna is a collective being, Allahu Akbar means the same. You have to put your fingers into ears and say Allahu Akbar. Realize souls. And you get the Kundalini rising. You can see the pulsation of the Kundalini at the triangular bone. You can see the rising of the Kundalini. You can feel the breaking of the Kundalini at the Sahasrara, at the point where it comes and breaks. So you enter through the gate of Christ, who sucks these two institutions and makes the way here. And once the Kundalini rises about Agya, you become thoughtless. The limbic area is the kingdom of God, from where you are guided and the Kundalini passes through. That's the last job that is to be done, and now it is done. That is done, now our Mass. It has to be done. It was to be done. It was promised. The time has come. But where are the people? Sometimes I wonder. I'm in England now with you. You'll be amazed that in India, these people have seen thousands and thousands are there to receive realization in the villages. Here I find people don't want reality. You should have a circus. At least English people come, but Indians, very few, and they never stick. It's so amazing, I can't understand. It's amazing how things work out. When are we going to take to it? I mean, it's free. You don't have to pay anything. It's your own. It is spontaneous. It is there. But still, they get realization, they get lost. It's something so surprising. I've been working here, you won't believe, 10 years now. 8 years? 8 years. For 4 years, in the first 4 years, I had 6 people. They would come up, go down, come up, go down. I said, what sort of people? 4 years. Can you imagine? In India, I go for 3 months and I get thousands. Is it that there are very few who are going to be saved? As told by John, he said only few thousand are going to be saved. Is that what we are going to do in the West? But England is the minimum. You'll be amazed. Even Italy is better. Switzerland, Geneva, so much better. What's happening? Here they run after a man who is asking for a Rolls Royce. A fellow who asked for a 59th Rolls Royce, they starved themselves and made a Rolls Royce for him. And when he came, they gave him the Rolls Royce. Imagine. They said he's a perfect master. There is no pure intelligence left in the mind to understand that how can you get spirit for this nonsensical Rolls Royce. At least Derbyshire are not, people from Derbyshire should not be impressed by that very much. Because they make it here. You cannot make God, can you? You can make Rolls Royces, all right. Can you exchange Rolls Royce for God? They are running after such horrible things, like horrible another thing that somebody is trying to teach you how to fly. The wife of the director is sitting here, who started suffering with epilepsy. Her husband got epilepsy, her daughter got epilepsy. They all were epileptic and they were paying thousands of pounds, 3,000 pounds to fly. And they started hopping themselves like a frog. Imagine. With pure intelligence you must ask that guru to drop himself from the leaning tower of Pisa. I think it was made only for that. And see if he can fly even 1 inch higher. Why not use your intelligence? You are supposed to be the most balanced and intelligent people. Yesterday I told you that you are placed. The most important place in the universe is the heart. England is the heart of the universe. And the heart is lethargic. What can I do? You have to tell me, what am I to do? To pump this heart into reality. There are seekers, I would not say there are seekers. When it came to hippism, thousands became hippies. But all absurd things they accept very easily, and why not the thing that you are seeking? It's beyond my mind, I cannot understand. Now, I didn't come to this place as an immigrant, as I told you. I came here because something happened and my husband got elected to this country, which was important, which was, I think, was preordained, was to be. But I have to implore you now to take to this and understand that this is what William Blake has told you, that the prophets are going to be in this country. That the God of men are going to become prophets and they are going to have the power to make others prophet. That is sahajayoga. There's nothing else but this. He has promised so many things. He has even described the house where I live. He has described the house that we are occupying now, exact position. He has described the ashram where we lay our foundations. Into such details that I am amazed, such a great sage and a seer was born in this great country and nobody wants to see through. Now what am I to do? I hope very soon people would realize that they have to take a very big role, a very important and vital role in the transformation of the whole humanity and saving of this disastrous time. They are the ones who have to lead people into the kingdom of God. I can hope and bless that. May God bless you. Luckily, we have a very good standard of the Saj Yogis in Derbyshire. Really surprising. And Blake has mentioned Derbyshire very much. They wanted me to come to Derbyshire. I said, Birmingham has been sufficient for me and I will not go to Derbyshire. This mother, please. And then he said, Blake has mentioned you come to Derbyshire. That's how I'm here. And I hope that this center will definitely create very good surgeries. Great profits can be created out of this. After all, Blake has mentioned Derbyshire very strongly, recommended it. But what I find today when I went for a drive, there's a lot of black magic on. People are indulging into horrible, horrible things. I was worried, quite worried. It's a very dangerous thing. It's dangerous for you, for your children, for your families, for everyone. When I found those pockets, I was amazed how they are prospering here. May God give you strength and proper wisdom to understand how you are placed in relation to the great work of God. Now, if you have any questions, we can have for about 5 minutes. Yesterday, many people asked questions. Actually, first day only I allow people to ask questions, because second is quite a waste of time. Now, don't ask personal questions, for heaven's sake. Don't ask any personal question. That we'll attend to them later on, personally. They can be attended to. But anything general, if you want to ask, please ask a question general. He's in India.
Have you seen God yourself?
Why do you ask this question? Are you authorized to ask that question? First you see your spirit and then we'll talk about it. Why should you ask such a question? Are you an Indian? Then at least keep some manners. Please be seated. This kind of an arrogant question should not be asked. Have you seen God? Why should you ask me such a question? What authority have you got to ask that question to me? I have to ask you a question. Have you felt your spirit? Alright? First feel your spirit. That's why Buddha never talked of God. I yesterday only told you. Because suddenly you want to see God. Have you got eyes to see God? You can't see me even. How can you see God? First of all, become your spirit. Then we'll talk about it. A little child won't go and talk to a king and slap him on the face, will he? Is he supposed to do that? We must know our boundaries, our maryadas. Especially Indians must know. I'm surprised sometimes to ask such a question like that. Have you seen God? Whether I have seen it or not, why should I tell you? But what did he say?
Leave it, please. Let's have another question.
Doesn't behave. Doesn't behave. It's very arrogant. I'm surprised that you've learned such ways here. It's never done by an Indian. It's very embarrassing.
Any other questions?
Just imagine, if I've seen it, is he going to believe me? Or not seen it? ये हिंदुस्तानियों का हाल है. हमारे तो नाक कटा के रख. इतना रद्दी लौट आया हुआ इस देश में. All the scum has come sometimes.
Any other questions, or you all like the experience?
I mean, what a question it is. Have you seen or not?
Okay, everyone slip their shoes off, feet on the floor, and just simply rest your hands on your lap.
अपनी मर्यादाएं तक नहीं रह गई.
Would you like the other microphone, or this okay? This microphone okay?
I would like to have, because I can speak, but I will not touch. He's a master of philosophy from Banaras University and all that, maybe that. But in India, you won't find such people. I don't know from where these materialistic, absolutely gross people are. I mean, what a question to ask me. It's never done. I'm here to give you self-realization. That's all. And you should get it. That's your right. This is a bank, I should say, and I have to sign your checks. That's all. If you get your check signed, that's all. Finished. That's my relationship with you. I'm not going to tell you about myself to get crucified again. Christ tried to tell something about himself, and they crucified him. Now, if I tell him, of course, I know about God, he's not going to accept. If I say I don't know, then he's not going to accept. Stupid. Indians are not stupid at all. They're very wise people, I must say. I'm surprised from where this stupidity has come. Very wise. Indians are very wise because it's a yoga bhumi. You know? It's such an ancient country of ours. You don't know the praises of this country, I tell you. Do not judge them by the people you see. No, 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 no. It's a very great country. It's very great, spiritual, absolutely spiritual country. See, these are, I don't know what's the matter with the very superficial people have come here. Extremely superficial. There are some great souls also, I say. But don't judge. Don't judge that great country. Once I was going to India with my husband and told him, you have touched our country. He said, how do you know? I said, see the vibrations. The whole country is vibrating. The atmosphere is vibrating. He said, really? I said, you go and ask the pilot. We were in the first class, we went down and I asked him. He said, sir, we just touched it about a minute back. Such a great country like that. The Kundalini of the universe resides in that country. Can you imagine? The Kundalini. And they have no desire to seek. That's the power of desire that resides there. And they have no power to seek. क्या करें? किसके सामने रोएं? I'm myself surprised. And those who have come also like gurus, horrible people making money. I'm ashamed if I am an Indian by any chance, or if, as I'm ashamed, I sometimes feel, what have they done to what we had? We have such a tremendous heritage. You are just a shoot, you are just the outside, you are the tree, we are the roots. You can't live without us. We are your roots. And these roots I see, I can't understand. Still, it's all right. It's the concern of a mother. I bow to all the seekers of truth. Today, in these modern times, we are face to face with lots of complicated problems, lots of shocks that are awaiting us. And then we look back to understand why have we failed? What has gone wrong with all of us? Whatever way the human beings have moved, in whatever direction they have tried to achieve something, the whole thing has recoiled on the whole humanity and has destroyed it. One must stop at this point and witness the reason, the basic reason what mistake we have committed. We talk of love, we talk of peace, world peace, but the peace is not in your hearts. Peace is not within. You are in a turmoil. And how can you bring forth peace all over? If the sea is full of waves which are in a turmoil, how do you expect the boat to be steady? The reason is we are not trying to find out what's wrong with us, but we are all the time trying to find out what's wrong with others. But who is the other? We are all part and parcel of one great world. God has not created many countries. He never knew about these things. He'll be surprised if he visits this world. He'll be surprised the way we have divided ourselves into countries, and from one country to another country you move like a criminal with a passport number.
idea of love is not love. This conception, the mental projection that we call love is not love at all. The love is something which is a power. A power that is looking after us. The power that is guiding us. The power that has nourished us, has brought us to this level. We in our ego, human beings, think that, oh, we have done this, we have done that. You have done nothing. You can't even create a blade of grass. You cannot. Can you? You cannot create anything that is living. Then why say that we have done this, we have done that? You have done nothing, but you have created all kinds of devils out of your cocoons and put them on top of your heads. First, let us be humble about it, then we can understand what is love of God. Love of God is a power. It's an all-pervading power. It's the subtle power which resides in all the elements, in all the molecules, in all the atoms. The vibrations that you see, say, in a sulfur dioxide, when you see the isometric movement of the atoms, then know it is the love of God which is working it out. Now, it is easy to say there is no love of God. But this is not a very scientific way of looking at things. If you are scientific-minded, then you have to understand this is a hypothesis which I am putting before you. And if it is not proved, then you can deny. Up till now I would have accepted that you said there is no God. But that also is not scientific, because you have not seen yet. You have not gone into that direction. You have not tried to find it out. How can you say there is no God? Only because in your small little brain, you have conceived an idea that there is no God. So secondly, you have to have an open mind to understand God's love. A very open mind. Open mind, like a student who goes to the university, doesn't challenge a professor, but sits down to listen, to find out what the professor has to teach. Thirdly, we must understand that we know very little, very, very little wee bit. We are using a very wee bit of our brain to understand anything. So whatever so-called knowledge we have got is absolute and limited knowledge. Maybe it is just ignorance, or maybe something mythical. Let us keep it as a hypothesis. Now I say that there is God, and I say that His love is all-pervading. All the great saints, incarnations, prophets, all the great religions have said this. I am not saying it for the first time. I am only here to prove that they have said it is the truth, and you can find out whether it is the truth or not. But you should be the seekers of truths, and not just intellectuals or some sort of argumentative personalities. Try to understand that at human level you have not been able to discover that great power of love. It's a fact, must accept. You have not been able to feel God so far. Oh, you might have read a lot, but you have had no experience of God. You have never felt His love. Then one must know that we have been ignorant. The darkness of ignorance has been on us, and in darkness we are hitting each other. We have no idea as to how we are related to each other. It's a crazy world we are creating today because of this darkness. This darkness has to go away, and for that the light of God's love has to come. Now the question could be, how can we know God? Because as it is, we are like a cocoon. We have taken out all these threads of the cocoon, put them round us, and everybody thinks that they have produced some sort of a novel ideology or a philosophy which will solve all the problems of the world. It has not. It has created more complications, and more complications. Let us face it. How to get out of this cocoon is the problem today. And to get out of this cocoon, what should we do? Normally, as human beings, we always think that by doing something only we achieve the results. But this is the other way around. When we became human beings from amoeba stage, what did we do? From monkeys to human beings, what did we do? We didn't do anything, did we? But there was some internal force that has brought forth this evolution. Now when something has happened without our effort, then it must be something unique. But it is nothing, every day we see it. For example, a flower becomes a fruit. You see it every day and you accept it. You never challenge how it has become suddenly the flower becoming a fruit, because it's a living process. So the living process of the living God comes from His love, which is living. Dead gods I am not talking about, which we have made out of our own brains. But the real God, the reality itself, which is not created by you, He has created us. When He has created us, we cannot put in effort to know Him. He has to put in effort for us to know Him. So He has put in all the efforts within yourself. Very beautiful. In the different stages of your evolution, He has developed within you a mechanism, a beautiful living mechanism, which has given you the stage up to which you have come as human beings, and also the possibility of becoming a higher being through that mechanism. Now, if you want to know through science, you cannot. By all human efforts, whatever you try is the knowledge of the tree. But if you have to have the knowledge of the roots, you have to become a subtler personality to get to it. Even to become that, God has made all beautiful arrangements within us. In the West, I would say, on the scientific field, Jung reached quite near it, but he made little mistakes because he didn't have a mother to tell him, perhaps. So he made a very big mistake by saying that the unconscious is below the subconscious mind, and then is the conscious mind, जिसे कि हम सुप्त चेतन कहते हैं, जो कि साक्षात कुंडलिनी है. This Kundalini, according to him, was placed under the layers of these minds. God is a great creator and a planner. Supposing you have to enter into an airport and there are piles of luggage, one after another, everything piled one after another like that, how will you reach? There has to be a path. So this argument of his has failed him completely. But actually it is not placed one on top of another, but on parallel sides. On the left-hand side and the right-hand side. On the left-hand side, we have the subconscious, the present subconscious, this life subconscious, many lives subconscious, and then the collective subconscious. On the right-hand side, we have got supraconscious, the present one, this lives, then of many lives, and then last of all is the collective supraconscious. Now the supraconscious means the futuristic ideas of people. So we have two types of people already. One are which are left-sided, which live with their past. One which are right-sided, which live with the future. We can say in India, we are the people we live more with the past. We talk of Shivaji, but what about today? Can we produce someone like him? We talk of Nanaka. Can we produce anyone like him? We talk of Kabira. Can we produce anyone like him? With all this nonsense that is going on, can we produce even one like them? We cannot. So no use talking about them. Better see what you can do today in the present. So in the present is the central part, which we call in the Sanskrit language as Mahalakshmis. This central path is the evolutionary path of human beings. And thus all the centers that are created within us are the different stages in which a human being has gone through. For example, the first one, which is called as the Muladhara, which you see there, is the one that starts with carbon. With the carbon coming into the evolutionary process, amino acids were formed, life took its own existence, and life started growing. So basically, we have started from that stage going higher, 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 till now we have come to the human stage. And last is this chakra, which we call in the medical science as limbic area, Sahasrara. The end of it is called as the Brahmarandra, is the fontanelle bone area in the medical terminology. And this is a soft bone in childhood, which gets covered up because of the two institutions growing into us of ego and superego. When the Kundalini rises through these centers, she pierces through this seventh center, and you get that higher awareness, which we call as yogis or sahajogis. These days there are so many types of yogis moving. That's why we call it sahajogis, but all real yogis are sahajogis. It is a spontaneous happening because it's a living process. Living process is a spontaneous happening. Once people asked Ramadasa, how much time does it take for Kundalini to rise? He said, Takshana, that moment. Guru Nanak has said, Sahaja Samadhi Lago. Sahaja Samadhi Lago. He has described Sahaja Samadhi Lago clearly. What more he should say? Kabira has said, Ida, Pingala, Sukhavana, Nadire. They all have described the same thing. In the Bible it is written, I will appear before you like tongues of flames. No one can explain what does that mean. Christ has said, I will come back as a comforter, as a Holy Ghost. If you ask somebody who is the Holy Ghost, they'll say, we don't know. That's a mystery. Everything is a mystery, then what's the use of having such a mysterious ideas? Why do you accept anything that is mysterious? Holy Ghost is nothing but is the Kundalini within you. She is the reflection of the primordial mother who is within you in the triangular bone. She is kept there all the time. That's the power which is what we call is the power of Shuddha Ichcha. Pure desire. Pure desire. What is the pure desire we have? Is that we have to become one with this all-pervading power. This is the pure desire. All other desires come and go. Today they are asking, say, for something. Tomorrow they'll ask for something. Day after tomorrow they'll ask for something. It will go on and go on and go on. But once you get to your pure desire, you don't want to ask for anything. Then you give. Then you do not ask. You don't want anything. You want to give. This is the situation we should arrive at, that we have to give. When we say we have to become the light, then you become the light. And what does the light do? Light gives. Till it becomes the light, all the problems are there. As soon as it becomes the light, it gives. In the same way, there is full arrangement within us. In a living process, the Kundalini has to rise and give you your self-realization, your self-knowledge, which is the Bodha, which is the Vedas. Veda means Veda, to know within yourself means on your central nervous system, not reading. Not reading. Kabira said, Pari Pari Pandita Murakha Bhaya. He said by reading too much, the great learned have become stupid. That is a fact. Because when you read, everybody else is in your head, you are lost. Now when the self-knowledge comes into you, then what happens? When self-knowledge is there, you know about yourself. You don't know anything about yourself. For example, somebody who is sick, he says, oh, I was quite all right, and suddenly I find I have got bone marrow cancer. He never knew, no, nothing. Suddenly they say, now I have bone marrow cancer. I'm walking about all right, I'm perfectly all right. He did not know. Somebody says, my son was all right, suddenly he's turned out to be epileptic. Another one says, my daughter was all right, now she's a lunatic. How it has happened, we don't know. Suddenly, something has gone wrong with the machine. We know more about the motor car that we drive, the machinery, much less about this our machinery, which is so beautiful and so subtle. To know this, you have to become the knower. And the knower is the spirit where you have to reach. But for that, you don't have to do anything. Kundalini has to do some job. And that job is simple because she is your mother. She's been your mother all your lives. And now she wants to give you a second birth. That you have to have. It's no use certifying yourself twice born or saying that I'm a person who has got realization. It is no use deceiving yourself, no use. When you get your realization, the first thing that happens to you, the first and foremost thing that will happen to you, that on your central nervous system, you will develop a new dimension of collective consciousness. A new depth on your central nervous system. You can feed your own centers and the centers of others on your 5 fingers and 6 and 7 centers. This has to happen. The one who thinks I know a lot, I'm a great Pandit, I'm this and that, I think all of them are on their way to Nark. Only the way to rise is to ascend through Kundalini awakening. There is no other way. Some people think that we have to be very upright, straightforward in life, if you are honest, if you are all other things, then it's done. But another may ask, why? For what? What's the purpose of all this? Why should we have this balanced life? Why should we go through this rigmarole of being very steady, this, that? Anybody can ask, young people will ask this question. Why this nonsense of doing all these things for what? This balance is for the ascent. Without the balance, you cannot ascend. That's why the balance has to come. That's why you have to be in the middle. You have to be in moderation. Because you have to ascend. And for the ascent, all the extreme temperament cannot do it. Supposing you have an aeroplane which has one wing missing, will it fly? Or which has got one wing very heavy, it won't fly. So one has to have a balance, and this balance is achieved through your being in moderation or being, I would not say dharmic, because dharmic means nonsense, but dharmic means the dharma within you, the 10 valencies that are within you, which are the valencies of human beings, to be balanced. We can say the 10 commandments, or we can say the 10 valencies, or we can say the dasha dharmas. They are inner things, they are not outside, they are inside yourself. When they are in balance, the ascent takes place. Now the difference between all those historical things that we have seen, all those self-realization stories we have heard, have been of one or two persons. Because of the tree of life, at that time there were one or two flowers. I find there are thousands today. The blossom time has come. So many will get realization, no doubt. But the other difference between all those practices where people used to cleanse themselves, chakras by chakras they used to raise, they used to go to real gurus, sadgurus, not these horrible gurus, but sadgurus. Sadgurus they used to go. And these gurus would raise their kundalini one by one, step by step, and give them realization, cleanse them. It was a very hazardous method. So as a mother, I thought, why not make you your own guru? Best way. How do you do it? Somehow or other I must develop a method by which I can manage a mass realization. Let many people get realization. Now the kundalini doesn't rise in its full force because the chakras are not clean. There are problems on the chakras, there are blockades, things like that. But there's a wee bit, a small hair-like power can rise in some people. Some people can have a bigger flow, some people can have a complete jet coming out, but everybody should have this experience. And as a result of that, the light of the spirit flickers a little bit. In that light, you can see your own problems. You can see what's wrong with you, because you can feel it on your fingertips. And if you know how to correct them, you become your own guru, you correct yourself. I don't want to tell you. Because if I tell you, you'll all run away. These are not the days to tell anybody to do something. That's the worst thing. So only thing is, you get your realization, get this little light with you and see for yourself what's wrong with you, and you manage it. This is the only difference is. And I find this works better. Because human beings in the modern times have accumulated so much of ego on their heads, so much, beyond their heads. So no use touching it. Best is to raise the kundalini so they see their ego. And they say, Mother, please remove this thing that has gone on my head. Please remove this. They themselves say. This is what is this modern Sahaja Yoga is. The kundalini awakening is very simple. People might have told you that it gives you problems and all that. I just don't know. Because thousands of people in the villages, in the cities, all over the world, I have done this. Nobody had any problems. On the contrary, all their problems are solved. This is a wrong idea we have got in our head. I don't know from where it has come, that you have to suffer to get to spirituality. I just don't understand. Like some people in England said to me that we have to suffer. I said, why? Christ has suffered for you, hasn't he? Are you going to suffer more than Christ? Why did he suffer for you if there was something left for you to suffer? Actually, they make everybody else suffer. They don't suffer much, all such people. Because if you don't eat anything, you starve, you make yourself miserable. Everybody else feels miserable with that person. Supposing you want to hurt me, the best thing is to fast. If say, mother, I'm fasting, then I don't feel like eating myself. If my children are fasting, why should I eat? But if I say don't fast, then that is the most sinister thing I've told people. You can fast as much as you like all your life and make everybody fast, doesn't matter. But not in the name of God. You are maligning God. He is joy. He's made all this world so beautiful. For you to come, he wants to welcome you to his own kingdom. And what he finds, the people are beating themselves up, or beating others, or fasting, or torturing themselves. This is the kind of attitude that is not going to please God at all. I don't know from where these ideas might have come from people who preach about God, because they must be saying, you starve and give all food to me. You become a sannyasi, give all your money to me. Must be this is the reason. I cannot find any reason for this kind of a nonsense, that you should fast, you should suffer. In sahajayoga, nobody is allowed to do that. And if you have to do that, then please don't come to sahajayoga. You have to know that God wants you to be the happiest person, to be the most joyous person, a person without any problems, without any tension, without any trouble, enjoying the beauty and the grace with all his bliss upon you. But for that, first of all, you have to make your mind that you first of all forgive yourself and then forgive others. And just sit with an open mind. I'm sure you'll all get your realization and feel this all-pervading power of God like vibrations or cool breeze, which is called as the cool breeze of the Holy Ghost, on your fingertips. Some may not feel, possibly because of some trouble, some obstruction, some mental projections, maybe. But that doesn't mean they will not feel later. And they should not go and criticize, oh, I didn't feel, it's all humbug. This is nonsense. This is like dog in the manger. You cannot eat and don't allow others to eat. If you do not feel it, then don't condemn yourself either. It can work out. You can come back to the center, get your realization. Now the time has come for all of us to be wise and not to be stupid anymore. We have done enough of stupidity. All right, as children they are forgiven. But if you are gone like that, I don't know where you land and where this world is going to land ultimately. So all of us have to decide, those who are here, that from today, because the new year has started, let us try to be wise about it. And the wisdom has its own powers. Beauty has its own powers, and love has its all powers. Everything emerges into the ocean of love of God. एक मिनट. You have to support Laurie out and out. I must get good report about you from her. You know you had terrible problems, you know that. I must get very good report from her. And you must respect your leaders. Don't treat them as equals. None of you are going to treat your leaders as equals. You have to respect them and you have to listen to them. If something goes wrong with them, I will remove them. Don't start arbitrary behavior. This goes to this limit, what Danny has done. Do you want to become like that? So don't start any arbitrary behavior. And if you want to make me unhappy, I have nothing to say. But I have tried to make you happy by so many ways and so many methods. But if you want to make me unhappy all the time, what can I do? I have to be unhappy. You don't want to make me unhappy, isn't it, Felicity? All right, now go ahead and don't do all these things. It hurts me. I just don't understand. You have been with me for so many days and this thing, I've loved you so much, I just can't understand. Why do you want to hurt me? All right, get up now. Now for something nice, we should say, it's done, finished. You see, sometimes the ocean of forgiveness gets so filled up that some of it, like what you call the tushar in Marathi, we say, I don't know in English what is the word is, some drops come out from that on the shore. Try to love each other. Try to be helpful to each other. Try to enjoy others. That's what you are here for. Keep to your age. Keep to your levels. Keep to your growth. And also, you must understand that respect, if you give, you get the respect also. This is not the way one should behave in Sahajayoga. I am trying to build up a new world. You are doing God's work. Just find out, have you got sufficiently enough understanding what work you are taking. Arbitrary behavior is absolutely cancerous for Sahajayoga. Anybody does that, you point it out to others. This is arbitrary. This has been done very much before also. You know how the money was collected? Arbitrarily by Patrick. Terrible things happened. And everybody supported him, even Steve and everyone. And people sent him money without asking me. This is very sad. You are all Sahajogis of such a level, and you must come up to that level and see that you are the people who are going to change the whole world. You are the foundation of that. No arbitrary behavior should be there, but an understanding, because you have to receive so much. Unless and until you are respectful, you cannot receive anything. Whatever you have to do, please ask your leaders. Don't do anything arbitrarily. The leader may be younger than you, may be older than you, maybe now he is appointed, you are an old Sahajayogi. It doesn't matter. I know whom to appoint. I have appointed that person there. Alright? I hope you will give me joy and happiness as I have always tried to give you. May God bless you. Now, the ladies have arrived and they want to give bangles to the ladies. They have brought the bangles for. The reason is tomorrow is a great day, what we call the Sankrant. It's a day when the sun changes its meridian. It moves from the south to the north. Towards the Cancer, to the Cancer. It moves towards the Cancer, you see. And that's how tomorrow is a very great day for us, 14th. That day we say that that's the day lots of things happen. So, Sankrant. Krant means revolution and San means holy. So it's a day of holy revolution. Luckily we are here. We'll be having a nice puja. We'll have an international puja also. Everything will be done tomorrow. Very nice. Now, one thing we have to do today, that these ladies have come to give bangles to you, to all the ladies. They have got all sizes. They showed me what sizes I should take. I told them some of them should be maximum. And they have brought it. So as many as of you can have, please have it. All right? Out there, bangda kyun nahi? We don't offer them to women because men, because it is insulting. When the men don't go for a fight or they behave cowardly, then women offer their bangles to men that you better wear them, sit at home and I'll go on the war. So it's a saying, bangda bharani, means to men if you say that, that means now you are a coward. It means that. In all languages. यहाँ पे कितनी चिड़िया हैं? It's a sanctuary here. So many birds. Have you seen those birds before? Or only they have arrived today? Just go and have a look. Ana. We everything have by the kilos, you see. Ana. इकडे आणून ना आता बायका आहेत तिथे. अहो तुम्ही या कुठे विद्यापीठाच्या बायका इकडे या इकडे. What's it?
Bridget has bought 5 silver key rings for you to bless, and perhaps you'd like to give them away.
To whom?
11.
To whom? You know what?
You want to give me
Where's the other box?
Did you?
Beautiful. You got them in Kolhapur? Are they beautiful? Yeah. You put bangda. Ugdao? Oh, bangda ugda. Yeah. Huh? Oh, kumku. Oh. कुंकू पुढच्या आता ह्या तर पुष्कळ बायका आहेत भरपूर yeah. But where are they? That's only we have very few. One is 1, 2, so 3, 4, 5. Yeah. One is very simple. Huh? Now you make a list. I don't know. This one has been here.
Maybe you can choose 11 Swiss ladies.
Huh?
Maybe you can choose 11 Swiss ladies.
That could be very partial. We should give it to from every country. Now the leader, Snow, what? You know the ladies whom I gave. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry. You want somebody else or someone?
One more could be. काय झालं?
All the ladies.
अरे मला का? झालं.
You know the ladies who receive saris from each country. Choose another lady in your country who will
बघते.
receive.
तुम्ही कामं सुरू करा. आणा व्हायब्रेट करून. आल्या का सगळ्या? आणा. हा. काय हे तर व्हायब्रेट करून द्या आधी. हा. बर ते आणा. आता भरपूर झालं ना झाला ह्याला हो बिकुले इकडे हा जरा इथं बसू आता कशा भरणार या ह्या बायकांना असं का तुम्हाला माहिती आहे ना तर कम अलॉंग नाव फॉरवर्ड बरं भरा मला भरा झाले
नाही आम्ही
काय झालं खाला पाहायचं त्या लोकांना कुंकू लावणार ना मी तसं पुरायचं नाही आणखी घ्या कुंकू These are all the ladies. 11.
11 ladies, right?
Will you please come one by one? First of all, these are key rings which are given by Bridget. All right. May God bless. Come on. हाँ हो मला भरा एक मिनिट ह्यांचं उतर दे एक मिनिट मे गॉड ब्लेस मे गॉड ब्लेस Bridget has given this. Whichever comes in my hand, I am giving it. All right? Nice one. This little thing has fallen off. Let's see the type. I'll take this one out. This one is. त्याच्यातलंही बघा. त्याच्यात पडलंय. नाही ह्याच्यात पडलंय. आहेत का बघायचे घुंगरू पडलेले मे गॉड ब्लेस हा नाही जस्ट है कसं गेलं कुठे नाही कसं काय It's a little dropped out. I think I was trying to search it. Just see. Get it. This is all right. May God bless. There are only 11 she's brought. I'm sorry. Now, all the ladies who came here can come and one by one have the bangles done. Now come along. Come along. One by one. Come along. Start. Come. बघा त्यांचे हात काय मला बरा हात just sit down.
Shrimataji, Michelle is saying that Christine Balsarac didn't receive a sari, but I know that I read her name out and she came up. Christine, you remember, from France?
Who is saying no?
Michelle, the leader in Paris.
Really? No, I think I gave it to Christine. I remember her. She says no?
Did she say no?
No.
Or are you just assuming your
no,
vision to be
but
perfect?
we were several. I mean, you cancelled the name Christine, saying no. I assume.
Cancelled?
Yes, you said Christine first time. It was Christine from New York.
Yes, correct.
And fourth name, I mean, was second time Christine. And you said no. I soon called her. And then you went on the fifth name, and it was over at that. And at the end, there has been.
I saw coming.
You saw her coming.
Yeah.
So she was not in her range. She didn't tell me. That doesn't matter.
She didn't get it. I saw her coming.
I
That
didn't
all.
ask her because I was sure not to have seen her. Because he has.
She didn't get it. What was the sari about? The one I gave? Then who took the 11th sari? I brought all of them in number.
No, Marie-Louise from Mulhouse, who knows her pretty well, said that she didn't get any sari for France. When she packed her luggage, she didn't have it.
How many saris there were, Dania? I don't know, but I had all the number there. Yes, 16 of them. No, quite lady. Yeah, also.
You had the list of it.
Just see the list. How many there? Or we'll find out. Now come along. Bara hai. Make out. बस you sit down, she'll bring them. तुम्ही असं करा, हात बघून सांगा त्यांना म्हणजे इथं मांडून घ्या ना सगळं.
Mother Alessandra has a spare herself. You might like to give that to the one that missed out.
All right, call her.
Okay, Austria representative to receive for Germany, please. Herbert? Who is it?
16. We'll see the sari list. But you should have pointed out that moment.
Yes, why didn't you tell us then?
That moment is wrong. You see, now it's the last case. I definitely had 16 saris, no doubt. I had bought them. No, and one of them, 15 I gave you, and one I gave it to Mrs. Dixit. I'll try to get one for her. If possible, they are very special saris. Just don't get them like that. Yes, I know that. But still. May God bless you. 3 times. They are very special ones. I'll see if I can get one. Alright? But who is then the 15th one who got it? Now let us see who got it. First of all. बरा अहो एकाच्याने नाही होणार 4 जण पाहिजे त्याला तुम्ही बरा त्याने भरू द्या किती भरणार आहात तुम्ही एक डझन मग 7 आणि 5 भरायचे 7 उजव्या डाव्या हाला 7 आणि उजव्याला 5 7 आणि 5 त्यांचे हात फार मोठाले आहेत आधी मोठाले बरा हे बघा ह्यांना तुम्ही यांना धरा ना इकडे हा तुम्ही इकडे बस हा असे हात बघा त्यांचे थोडे गाळा तुम्हाला ओळखता येतो का नाही अंदाजे फार मोठा गाळा आहे टेक आउट वन ऑफ त्यांना म्हणा काहीतरी म्युझिक वाजवा म्हणा त्याला प्लीज प्ले सम गुड म्युझिक ऑलराइट ask them to play some good music of the same one yesterday's other side कौन सा हाथ है हाँ 2 है का 2 6 म्हणजे 2 6 आहेत ना आधी डाव्यात घालून बघा नाही जाणार 3 घाला 3 बहुतेक 3 तिला चालतील 2 6 Yeah, a very big hand. What do? You do work very hard in the house or something?
I'm a teacher.
Why should the teacher have a big hand? You don't beat the children, do you? तुम्ही बरा राहुल भाई तिच्यात घेऊन या तिला आणखीन कोण आल्यात का आणखीन बायका तिकडे पाहिलं ना मी बसलेल्या नाही का हा 7 बरा हे बघा 7 की नाही You see, in 60 years you should look like a 60-year-old, you see, otherwise it's very embarrassing. For me, I must say, I must also get some bald head and some wrinkles and this and that. Because, you see, once we were traveling and we had some lady with us, she is 6 years younger to me. And Modi was all the time trying to help her. Poor old lady, poor old lady. I said, what's this nonsense? She's 6 years older, younger to me, and you are just trying to help her all the time. What about me? Nobody's bothered. They make me sit for hours together. They do this, do that. Supposing if I had looked old, you would have said, no, no, mother must be tired. Now the ladies develop that because they might be dominating women. Possibly. Or maybe they are neglecting their hair.
Drunkenness.
Huh? Drunkenness. Also could be they might have taken drugs, or maybe in the West anything is possible under the sun, you see. Or maybe they have had some problems with their mothers or something like that. Basically must be there, but I think mostly it is due to neglect, complete neglect of the hair. You see this hairstyle, now you go to any person who is doing this hairstyling, within 3 years' time you are bald. Then they will give a wig. That's their business. So going to these hairdressers and all that, you develop it. What is the need to go to the hairdresser? I don't understand. There's no need. Waste your time, waste your money. You look very nice without it. Huh? What is?
Is there a chance to get lost hair back?
You might try. If not by sahajayoga, they say there is a method. They put something here, there, and they plant it and all those things they do. If you do it, then I'll see to it that they grow well.
Why are diseases through generations limited to 7 generations?
Or any problem, Mother, any problem that comes through the generation.
The problems are like this. There's only one center which covers all the 7 centers, which is the Muladhara. Because it is the Omkara. It is the Chaitanya. If Muladhara is insulted, say I said if there's an incest relationship and the family grows, then it is 7 generations. But if it is between a very holy relationship like mother and the son and something like that, then it is 14 generations. It was complete insult of Sri Ganesh. And so many of these can come from there. Most of it comes because Sri Ganesha gives you the real strength. Those who have insulted Sri Ganesha are always delicate people, physically. So you have to re-establish your Sri Ganesh. Huh?
How to keep the body cool in summer?
To keep the body cool in summer, first of all, you have to do is to take some ice and rub it on your liver. Keep the liver cool. Don't think too much. Don't take hot things. Like in the summertime, so many people eat those watermelons and things like that. They should be cooled down properly. Like even mangoes in India must be cooled down and then taken. All such fruit should be cooled down and then eaten. Some people eat the mangoes just from the tree. That's very wrong. you have to cool it down for 24 hours and then eat it. This we knew, all of us. But in modern times, I don't know if people don't know. All these things add up. Then reduce on meats and fish especially. You should not eat fish in the summertime at all. First of all, it is spoiled, something wrong with it, or else it has phosphorus which ignites. So avoid all these things, eat things which are cool. Now especially for India is very easy because we have got something called gulkand, which is made out of rose petals, which is a very good thing for cooling the liver. Then cardamom, then the candy sugar, sugar itself, all these things will cool down your liver and you will feel very good. The change in your diet is very important during the summertime.
Oh, hemorrhoids, is it a Muladhara problem? Hemorrhoids.
Right side Muladhara. Right side. For that, you have to keep yourself cool, again get the cooling effects, all the cooling things to be done, and also a very good thing is to eat the black dried grapes. What do you call them? Raisins. Black raisins. Soak them in the night with some orange juice and eat them. Soak them in the morning, eat them in the night before sleeping. That will cool down. That's very, very cool. बनफशा बोलते हैं ना, आप क्या बोलते हैं? एक चीज होती वो काला काला जो पड़ता है उसको क्या बोलते हैं आप? नहीं, बनफशा नहीं, कुछ और बोलते हैं. जो काला काला मलंग कुछ बोलते हैं ना? हाँ? नहीं, एक मलंग करके आता है ना जो इसमें डालते हैं ठंडक में वगैरह. आई फॉरगॉटन द नेम. हाँ, काय तुम्ही काय म्हणता? नाही, सब्जा नाही. ते एक असतं यांचं काळं काळं, ते ह्याच्यात घालतात शरबत मध्ये किंवा ते आईस्क्रीम बनवतात त्याच्यामध्ये. हा, नाही, दुसरंच आहे काय ते, नाव विसरले मी, पण त्याचं सांगून उपयोगाच काय? For allergy, the best is geru. You take, all of you should take geru, those who suffer from allergy. And we get little stone pieces, round ones. Rub it on that and take it with some water about 7 times and then eat it. It's good for allergies. But everybody should not. Those who have allergies. Geru is not good for people who have overactive liver. Now if you have finished, yeah.
India has the biggest problem of leprosy, especially Bihar and UP. What is the reason?
It's a kind of a, it's an infectious disease, and now they have found out some sort of a thing for that. Leprosy is not only in India, it was everywhere. But, the जो कीटाणु होते हैं उसके, the ones, what you call them, the parasites which create this leprosy, drink kerosene oil, petrol. They prosper in petrol. Do you know that? Huh?
What is the treatment in Sahaj for that?
For leprosy, you see, for any infection as such, it's all left-sided. One can work it out. But as far as possible, keep out of it. Infectious diseases, you better not treat. You see, it's very dangerous. I will never advise you, because you should waste your energy on lepers now. Leave them to me. Which is the easiest way to cure yourself?
What about people who are born with epilepsy?
Epilepsy is curable. 100% curable. It's a left-sided problem. Epilepsy, whether born or anything, can be cured. Can be cured. Excessive tooth decay. You see, for tooth decay, the thing is you must use your fingers to rub on your teeth. You see? That's the thing. And also on your gums. So what you have, because you have got vibrations, your right Vishuddhi is quite alright. It is due to right Vishuddhi. So what you have to do is, to deficiency in right Vishuddhi gives it. Rub it nicely with olive oil and little salt. Very good, finely thinned out salt, and it will stop it. Every day. Every day. Brushing is not sufficient. One more here. What's it? Sit down.
What is the reason for having your intestines all on the left side?
All on the left side. Nothing on the right. Good idea. Left side. There's no reason as such. You see, after all, think that God creates so many human beings. Even, you tell about 200 people to do some work. One goes this way, another goes that way. You don't know what happens to them. They go so helter-skelter. Now, think that sometimes it's a freak. It happens. There are freaks. It makes no difference. All right, what do you want? What she say?
Ulcerative colitis.
Ulcerative colitis comes by people who have amoeboisis, maybe. One of them could be. Is it there?
Is there an amoeba?
Yeah, yes, due to that. Or could be due to very hot food if you eat, or if you drink too much. On all these things, you see, can be affecting. But mostly it is due to amoeboisis, I've seen it. And hot food. You shouldn't eat hot food. Like some people like very hot food and they get this trouble.
Anyone have a question that's a little more visionary and a little less medical?
What's it?
What about Halley's Comet appearing later this year?
I've seen it. This Mr. Haley had seen it and he said this will happen, that will happen. And if they say so, it's a good sign. Let's see. You see, whatever may be the stars, whatever may be the things, unless and until human beings become sensitive, nothing can happen. We have to be sensitive people to receive the blessings of these things. Otherwise, Haley may come, any may come, but we go on forever. It would be, if we become sensitive, then only it will happen. First of all, where there is ego, nothing is going to work out. Ego has to go down, and you have to feel everything, the vibrations and everything of the atmosphere of all the stars, then it will work. Otherwise it has no effect.
What is the proper attitude when you take darshan from you? I have never known how to approach you.
What is the proper attitude when we take darshan of you, Shrimataji? He's never known the proper attitude.
Oh, it's rather embarrassing. All right, I'll close my eyes and my face and I'll tell you. तिकडे बघा कोण आहेत, वाकुल्या दाखवतात, पोरं ओरडतात. तसं नाही करायचं म्हणा. मूर्खासारखं वागायचं नाही. कोण आहे? Now, your question is nice. Now supposing Christ appears before you and you know he is Christ, what will happen? That should be the attitude, at least minimum. Though Christ had to manage only one chakra, he'd have to manage 7. If that attitude develops, even thinking of me is sufficient. You have to just think of me, your diseases will be cured. That depth has to be reached. And this is just one chakra, 7 times, raised to power 7. That's what it is. You have seen the miracles, you have seen the photographs, you have seen thousands getting realization, none of them did it. But also I am Mahamaya. But in your heart you should know whom you are facing. But mostly people get into the web of Mahamaya very much. That awe is so fulfilling, so penetrating, so deep, that one lives with that idea only, all the time. You don't need anything with that. It's a very great fortune. If I were you, I would have called myself the most fortunate person. But it's the other way round. I don't know what to say then. Though I must say I'm very fortunate, because compared to all of them, I have so many of you here who are Sahajayogis. So I'm very fortunate and I'm very happy about it, very happy. But still, to grow in that, you have to know what it is. Indians have sense. It goes easily into their heads. They are very sensitive. In the same way, I hope you all develop it in that way, in that fashion. Then life would be very enjoyable. All right, now coming back to something practical, I have to ask you, have you made all the purchases that are needed for your pujas in your various countries?
Not yet. They're going to do some of it in Bombay on the day that is available when the buses go back, in each case.
Because all those who are going, Europeans, please raise your hands by the earlier first bus.
On the 17th, the Egypt Air flight. You leave on the 17th morning.
Now, there's one good solution also. I was saying that if you start very early in the morning next day, you may reach there for this work, but the shops close very fast. Another one could be you make a list of things that you want and send it over to Nima or someone, and they'll keep it ready for you, so you need not go to the shop to get it. For example, if you want to buy a mukut, want to buy this and that, better give her a list and they will keep it ready for you. As soon as you'll go, you'll get them. Is a better idea. Don't leave it to chances. Because when you travel, see, you don't know, the car may not take you at the right time, the shops may be closed. Being Sunday is going to be difficult again. Best is to make a list. Even Saturday is very difficult there. It's so crowded and all that. So make a list of things that you want, definitely, and those, otherwise you can try later on some that you want to buy personally, but actually these things are so common and so understandable, you write it down whatever you want for your puja. Have you got any list of saying what one needs for the puja?
But you must be. Evan, you were involved in this with your people going to do purchases in Bombay.
Yes, for Austria, we got the list that we wanted to buy.
No, altogether what you want to buy. Then make a list. Now sit down, make a list. Now, when you have made the list, I'll send somebody to Bombay who will purchase all these things, keep ready for you, put the price for you, you pay them and you take them. I don't think you will have much chance to go to any shop. And I would advise, don't go to any shop on a Saturday. On the contrary, you just go to the airport, rest there and take your day.
They reach on Friday night, they have all day Saturday, and they go in the small hours of Sunday morning.
Why do you want them to go on Friday night?
I don't.
Friday. Better let them go on Saturday morning.
They chose that.
I see. And what about you people?
We're going the next day. We'll leave on Saturday, and the flights are not until Tuesday or Wednesday.
All right.
But if you suggest, Mother, that they go on Saturday, they'll do it.
No, it's better go earlier because in any case. You know why I was saying that maybe you see cars and this and that, supposing it fails or something. Better to be there one day earlier. Try if you can get something because Saturday is such a crowded thing there, I don't know.
We'll still make this common list of puja rites.
In any case, you should. Whatever you have is all right. If you don't have, you better make it here. I mean, you spend so much time making the mukut. What's the need? You can get it here, ready-made, very good ones. Any amount, any type you want. If you want to do it, you can do it. But normally, there's no need.
They don't know what mukut is, Mother.
Huh?
You better tell them what mukut is.
Mukut is the crown. Yes. All right, by all means, you can see. It's done. Hold on. Well, you better come. क्या कह रहे?
माता जी कह रहे हैं कुमकुम खरीदा है ऑस्ट्रेलिया के लिए, आप वाइब्रेट कर देंगे?
हाँ, please bring it.
Mother, I think I should put the speaker.
What's it? Yeah.
Bring lemon juice.
Then wait for 5 minutes.
Put it away, please. Holding lemon juice.
rubbing on the soul.
And this one is for fixing hair oil, almond oil.
Use coconut oil for this. Coconut oil. This you can use to mix it, but more use coconut oil. Mix it up in the coconut oil first. Coconut oil is much better. For the hair, coconut oil is the best.
Thank you very much.
Take out the air first. Now before before going, whatever silver you have got, you put it in your suitcase. Find it also customs, you just that please tell them frankly that these are the volume increase. These are your wedding presents. Would be better if you wrap it with some. It's not meant for you in any case. Meant for married people. In case you are carrying the silver with you, then put it in your suitcases with a wrapper, with the wishing of somebody like that for your marriage. You should say we got married or something. Ian?